Welcome back to the AEC instructional videos. In this instructional video, we're going to go over something that we've covered already in a previous video, but we're going to be covering and talking about micro-integrations. Now, basically, to get there from AEC Central, you click on micro-integrators, and it'll give you a listing of the current micro-integrators you have. Consider micro-integrations to be small little programs that do different functions and integrate with other third-party components in AEC upon certain events, such as the application and clearing of a plan, pre-expiration, and also expiration of the plan. Now, the most important thing is after you create a micro-integrator, it's created, but you have to tell AEC when it is triggered. And in order to do that, you can actually attach it to a plan or to a group. So we're going to go back to AEC Central here real quick, click on Plans, and then let's click on the yearly, 99, and let's say I want to attach the micro-integrator HTML invoice mailout that I made earlier. I would set this to yes, and then hit Save. So now that micro-integration will be triggered on that particular plan. Now if you have your plans set up into groups, and let's say you have 20 plans in a certain group, you can also go to Payment Plans, Groups, and for example, on this new group, we can tell it on the micro-integration tab that every plan that is in this group to trigger this MI on, and we can save that. So you basically have two different places you can put it, but you need to put it somewhere so AEC knows when to trigger that micro-integration. Now let's go back to the micro-integrators itself. On the micro-integration screen, get there, and let's just pull up this one here. On almost all the micro-integrators, you're going to have switches off here to the side. Active, yes or no. You want this will be whether it is active and available for a plan or not. The name is actually filled in by default by AEC, but you can change it to be whatever you want, including the description. Regular action is almost 99% of the time set to yes. Only on first payment, on certain micro-integrations, you only want to be triggered on the first payment of a plan. And if that's the case, you would set it to yes. By default, it is set to no, which means it'll be triggered on the first application of the plan and all other instances of that plan being applied. Expiration action, yes or no. Whether you want this MI to be triggered when the plan whatever plan or group it's attached to expires. Whether you want to expire all instances. If you hover over that, you're going to see trigger the expiration action even if the user has another payment plan with this MI attached. The standard behavior is to call the expiration on an MI only when it is really the last MI instance. So in other words, if I have like 5 or 6 of these MIs attached to different plans, by default, usually you only want the expiration action to be triggered on the final MI that that actual subscriber has attached to his plans. And by default, we have the expire all instances set to no. User account update action. Now this is if it's supported by the MI. If this function allows this, you can enable actions that happen when a user account is being changed. For example, on the HT access MI, where AEC creates a password and protects a directory for it. If your Joomla user or member goes in and changes their password, you'd want this set to yes, so that the password would also be changed in the HT password file. Now, if you want this MI to be triggered on a pre-expiration action, you can enter in the number of days here. So if I set this to 3, any pre-expiration actions for the MI itself will be triggered 3 days prior to expiration on the heartbeat. Thank you very much, and that is just a general overview of using the MIs, and now we will go into detailed view of several of the MIs that are commonly used in AEC.